Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Phanor Montoya-Maya. I'm a marine biologist and a certified ecological restoration practitioner by the Society for Ecological Restoration. Today, on behalf of my co-authors, I'm going to present to you the socio-ecological footprint of the first large-scale coral reef restoration project in Colombia. The archipelago of San Andres, Providencia, and Santa Catalina in the Caribbean coast of Colombia hosts 77% of the whole coral reef area for the country. This archipelago comprises two main islands that are inhabited by people who depend heavily on the services provided by coral reefs. But as is happening in the whole of the Caribbean, the coral reefs on these main islands are suffering from coral bleaching, unsustainable tourism, overfishing, and coastal pollution, risking the benefits and the livelihoods of the people who live on these islands. So in 2017, a project to overcome this problem was developed with three main objectives in mind. The first one was to increase national coral gardening efforts. The second one was to enhance ecosystem services of fisheries, tourism, and coastal protection of the coral reefs surrounding the main islands, and to pilot participatory and alternative funding strategies to sustain coral reef restoration actions. The main results achieved by this project between 2017 and 2009 are that 32 local leaders were certified in large-scale coral gardening techniques, all developed from the Seychelles and applied for the very first time in a Caribbean country. With that technique and these local leaders or coral gardeners, we managed to grow in 1 year over 13,000 fragments of 4 species of hard corals. With those species and those corals, we managed to outplant about 9,000 of those in several places around the islands. We also conducted 2 microfragmentation pilot projects in an attempt to increase the species diversity of the corals grown, and also we pilot some coral gardening associated tourist attractions to test different funding strategies. The main direct outcomes of these efforts were fivefold. First, over 3,100 square meters of coral reef were intervened with these restoration actions. In that area, we managed to increase live coral cover between 23 to 41%. The ecological footprint of that intervention is still under assessment. We also develop a capacity building program that increases effective training in coral reef restoration, making the participation of non-technical people very effective. We also piloted and developed a payment for ecosystem services program that provides incentives to artisanal fishermen while supporting the livelihoods during economic hardships, something that was put to a test in Providencia Island after the Hurricane Iota destroyed 97% of the terrestrial ecosystems and infrastructure, and also affected a lot of the shallow water reefs. Some of the main indirect outcomes of this project were that it sparked the formation of new grass organizations and initiatives that build upon lessons learned. One of those organizations is the Blue Indigo Foundation, whose founders are former employees of Corales de Paz, and with their expertise and experience gained, now run one of the tourist attractions associated to coral reef restoration, the Nirvana Reef Garden, which is an underwater park for demonstrating coral reef restoration. It also provided capacity for rapid response to unexpected coral reef damages, like what we experienced after Hurricane Iota, where we were able to provide first aid actions to the coral reefs. And it also has turned Colombia into a hotspot for coral reef restoration training and research and development. And a good example of this is the previous training workshop on coral reef restoration that was hosted in September of this year with the Swiss organization Reefs, where we put to a test a pilot artificial reef for substrate enhancement. Some of the main lessons learned with this project are that we need to build local capacity and stewardship. But to do that, we need to engage and have locals understand the why, the how, and the what. Only then they can actually move from just building the nurseries to actually protect the reef and understand and provide and have patience, to actually understand that these actions are worthwhile, but they will take time. We also need to plan for administrative and financial breaks. We need to work with the government, that we need to understand that the government works at a different pace and timeframes. And to overcome that, we need to build public and private partnerships that can solve the problems of not having a running budget during these breaks of the public system. And one example is the Reef Giving program that we developed in the Coral de Paz, which is a corporate social responsibility program that allows the sponsorship of coral reef restoration actions through some funding from the private sector. Also, we need to start thinking about planning ecological restoration programs and not just projects. And to do that, we need to find a balance between research and production. We need to continue conducting research for coral reef restoration, but we need to start thinking on implementing that knowledge to an effective action towards reef restoration. And that requires scaling up and make things more effective and efficient. All of this knowledge and experience has resulted in a project at the national scale called the 1 million corals for Colombia. This project is just the replication of the experience and exercise conducted in the archipelago of San Andres and Providencia to a national level. We're gonna be conducting the same training, we're gonna be building the same nurseries, we're gonna be conducting the same microfragmentation exercise now in the whole country to capitalize what we learned, but also to strengthen the projects that were already going and to scaling them up so that they can be effective in restoring coral reef services. We're going to be training local teams in each of these coral reef areas. And together, we're going to try to grow 1 million corals of about 20 plus species so that we can start at the end of 2022, we can start restoring at least 200 hectares of coral reef areas in the whole country. This is a major undertaking that we're very proud that this first exercise of large-scale coral reef restoration has resulted on. We thank you for your attention, and I'll be willing to listen and answer to your questions. Thank you very much.